It's R&R in the morning here on San Antonio Sports Star. A.A. Best Bail Bonds brings them to you, so you might as well turn the phone on. I'd like to welcome on the coach, head coach of your Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. Welcome on, Coach. Rudy's back in the saddle.
Well, good. How's everything in San Antonio, guys?
We good, Coach. You got some rain last night, so it cooled off a little bit. How are you doing, man?
Same way. We've had some really good weather to practice in, so it's been great up here. We're getting ready for a big one Sunday.
You know, talking about a big one coming Sunday, I've been doing some scouting for you, Coach.
Oh,
I've been looking forward.
Here we go, Coach.
Here we go.
Go ahead. You might want to get your highlighter. I think they're going to try to run the ball. I think they're going to lean into between the tackles, moving the football. That's just my game plan. I don't know if anybody lets you know this.
I mean, is that your gut or is that?
No, this is gut and a sound bit of TV watching. It tells me that I think you might want to be prepared for some run game. Hold on to the ball. Don't let things get out of hand. Football.
I'll tell you what. I think I might put that in the team meeting.
Good. I'm glad. See, Coach, that's what I'm here to help. So, as we can get that started. No, seriously, Coach, as you come into a game like this, and what a mood swing it must have been to see what happened in preparation for what looked like it was going to be one hell of a fun football game. And you see that coming, and your guy's not going to be here and all that injury. What do you do to keep your team fired up? Or and obviously that's not an issue, but how do you address it?
As far as coming off of the winning one
yeah,
game,
the big win, you're expecting your old guy to play against him and all that other stuff, and now he's hurt, and that's awful on its own. And then, you still got to play the game, and it's not about keeping them fired up, but obviously there's a shift in the mood.
Well, definitely, but there's I mean, once you get into the plan, there's always challenges, especially when you're playing an uncommon opponent. I mean, this is a very talented football team. I clearly understand the loss of their quarterback, but
that's not just them.
This is clearly an excellent challenge for us, and I think the way that they're going to attack us defensively is, in the run game and the action pass game. So, I mean, that's going to be a big part of their attack.
Coach, one of the things I heard you talk about at Oxnard quite a bit was the way September football looks. Padded practices, we can't hit as much, and you just wanted to keep guys out of preseason to keep them sharp. From what you guys were able to accomplish, do you feel like y'all are ahead of the September football curve because of how sharp you are on both sides of the ball?
I think it's going to take a couple games to really answer that, but I feel good about the way the practices are progressing. I mean, I think I've done this long enough that, and I practice the team a lot differently in September than I do in October, by design. So
how?
Length of the padded work.
More now, less later, less now, more later.
More now, less later would be and I think with the 17-game season, that obviously plays into it. And a big part of it is our schedule. I mean, we play all these national games. We get back, late a lot, and then we got the Thursday swing, and those last 4 games are 3 are on the road. So I mean, those are the kind of things you always factor in when you're doing your scheduling for the season.
Hey, Coach. Also, injury updates. I know you're a Saturday guy, and you're gonna tell us it's the walkthrough, but Donovan, Tyler Smith, Zach Martin,
Cooks.
Cooks. How's everybody, looking as far what you could tell us today?
I know Brandon felt good when he left here yesterday, so I'm very hopeful he'll practice Saturday and everything goes clean, and then he'll play. But he's going to have to get through the practice. I think Zach is going to be fine. Talking with Jim this morning, Tyler's he'll work in the rehab group today, so he's iffy to practice on Saturday, and Dono practiced yesterday. So I look for him to keep working in there.
Let's talk about the play calling, Coach. Do you remember your first play call?
First play call, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what it was? You don't have to tell me, but is it something that is it like the first dollar you make? You remember that call?
No.
I'm just back on the bike.
Yeah, back on the bike. Getting used to the seat again.
And before we get into strategy, I got a kind of a goofy question. I'm curious about your play card design. Is there like a software that you buy? How do you design that play card?
Well, I got some very talented young coaches.
And seriously, is it like an in-house design? Is there something that if a coach wanted to buy something off the rack, could you go find something that designs that menu kind of thing?
I mean, the software is clearly available. It's a form of Excel, but but it's definitely customized to. I mean, every coordinator I've ever been around, you customize your own play call. Yeah.
I just find that very interesting. Are you comfortable with that? I mean, are you finding everything on time? Obviously, it looked pretty good.
Oh, no doubt, and and a lot of it too is for communication amongst your staff. So there's more to it than just having,
Yeah.
just to play. It's I've always felt the exercise of building the call sheet is important for your staff because I think it gets everybody lined up for, the network of communication on Sundays.
Coach, when you're talking about, iron sharpening iron, you have Gilmore, who, is subjective. I think he's on his way to a yellow jacket. You want a DPOY at that position. You're different. Diggs trending that way. So you know how disruptive they can be. The Jets have one of those guys of their own in Sauce Gardner. Now, when you're putting in the game plan, are you talking about calculated risk if you go to his side, or do you just avoid a guy like Sauce altogether?
Well, I think that's why you play the game. And there's definitely things that he does extremely well that you may pass on, but there's still things that you attack both sides of the field, and then the way they use him too. As far as if he's playing on the right, and then he gets into the red area, he goes to the boundary. So I mean, you do look at those things, but at the end of the day, they still have the ability to line their coverages differently too. So and that's why we play the game. But yeah, we also have a lot of confidence in our perimeter group, and this is a great challenge for us.
Certainly will be. Head coach Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star, brought to you as always by AA Best Bail Bonds. Yesterday in your presser, you said that the defensive line talent is the best you've ever seen. And I tend to agree, though I can name names for a long time. Why do you think that there's such an influx of new and interesting talent on the defensive line, more so than you've seen in the past?
I just think that there's more depth is than I recall in my time in this league. And I think the way the game's gone, the role changes, just the emphasis in the passing game. So the pass rush, the volume of pass rush technique and movement is extremely high too. So and I think that's just part of the way the game has gone with these role changes too. So I mean, you have to have a pass rush in this league to be successful defensively.
Coach Dak Prescott in his presser yesterday said this defense is an eyes on me defense. Take us into the woods as to what Dak meant by this is an eyes on me defense that he's facing.
Well, you have vision defense and you have man match defenses as far as how the coverages are being played. And this is a defense that plays with a lot of vision coverage components. So they do a really good job of disciplining their landmarks and their drops and in how they concept and pattern read your passing game. But there's a tremendous amount of vision on the quarterback, to try to play his eyes and get breaks on the ball.
I'm learning. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm taking notes.
I'm learning. Yeah, I'm learning.
We're in the middle of a chalk talk here. That's Mike McCarthy joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. Getting ready for a team with this kind of defense. I mean, you're not going to see the likes of this line very often. Is it, as you've looked at the film, exactly what you expected? Is there anything on that defense that surprised you in the game? Because we know they're really good, but are they even better than we thought?
Oh, their line depth. I mean, it's they got 10 real defensive linemen. So I've been very, very impressed with their depth, and they do a good job of their playtime rotation. So because they all play, they all rotate in there, and they all have a distinct skill set. And but it's a well built defensive front.
Coach, I guess it's just the hot topic this week. Dak says he's 100% grass guy. You were a grass guy up in Lambeau. Is there anything to make of this from where you stand there? Or is it just one of those things where, look, it is what it is, and we just got to go out here and play?
Well, I think it's like anything in this game. You do have history, and when things like this become topics, I don't think it's something that you can just turn a key and change. So, but yeah, I mean it's very important, and it's something that I talk on Saturdays with the team. I mean, the surface you're playing on is a big part of your success, and especially learned that up in Lambeau. I can't tell you how many times you sit there in pregame and you look across the field, and more times than not, the other team's in a lot of their guys are in the wrong shoes. So I mean, I think the most important thing about the surface is understand what shoes you have on. And like, take the case last week, we played on AstroTurf, but then it was rainy and the field was starting to get a little soft, and you could feel that in the pregame. So there's always conversation about just being in the right shoes on the right surface.
Do you appreciate the consistency that the turf offers? Like you're comfortable with the knowing
Consistency as far as
of the field. Hey man, this is the cleat I need. That when nothing has changed on this field.
well, I mean, it's the same. I mean, you would hope the grass fields are.
Well, we know that's man. We've seen teams roll into Lambeau and not be able to see their cleats. I mean, we've seen grass so tall, so there is some variables that you can control.
Yeah, it depends on how much speed you have on your team. If you got more speed, the grass is going to be a little higher.
Yeah, I noticed that, Coach. It happened a couple times when you were standing on the sidelines.
No, I mean, it's all about the playing surface, and obviously the safety is. I think if you look at the league over, I know my time, particularly as head coach, I think they've taken a lot of measures to make the game so much safer. So yeah, it's part of the game, knowing that surface.
Coach, I know we're looking, we're doing our homework and looking at the numbers as far as, what these guys were able to accomplish when Micah was double teamed. How is it important as these 17 games that Armstrong and Izzy and those guys produce when Micah's taking on the double and the triple teams?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's why he's an impact player. I mean, he impacts the preparation of the coaches every week. And that's why I think he's done a great job in excelling in the multiple position flex that he gives us to keep moving him around to try to create some one-on-ones for him too. So, but yeah, every time they double him or slide to him, it's given us great opportunities of more one-on-one opportunities for our defensive front.
That is head coach Mike McCarthy stopping by for his weekly. Always brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. As always, Coach, we bid you good health. Have a good day of practice, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.